You know, it's not every day we get to choose how we will give up our humanity, doom ourselves for all eternity, and decide our ever-impending demise. But this time is different, because this time, all of you will get to choose. What's going on, everyone? Ace here with another video, and today we are talking about a choice. Your choice, specifically. You now have a second chance at existence, but it will be one forever damned, and you will have to be prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice. So which dark pathway into madness and evil is best fit for you? The Smiley or the Behelit? This is going to be a fun one today, guys. I really hope you enjoy it. What I plan to do is give you all a brief summary of the cursed objects presented before us today, taking into account their respectful source material. Both have a connection to a dark yet differing interpretation at some other plane of existence, which may or may not be considered a form of hell. I'll leave that interpretation up to you all. With these cursed objects, I'll be going over their origins, the relationship you can expect to have with said item, and ultimately how they will change your life as the beholder forever. Once all is said and done, you guys can make your decision on what path of evil you'd like to take. Sound good? Okay, then here we go. Oh, and real quick, before we get started, I want to preface that we will be meshing together two different universes here, so I've made some tweaks here and there, but nothing really major. Okay, now let's begin. So starting off with the Behelit. You can choose this option for your demise, but as soon as you do, your choice becomes forfeit. What I mean is you are now subject to the laws of causality. Translation: once you obtain the Behelit that was intended for you and you alone, then it is inevitable that when you reach your lowest point within your miserable existence, the Behelit will be there for you. Even if you had tried getting rid of it at some earlier time in your life, the Behelit will always return to your hands no matter what. Now, it's not really clear if the Behelit comes from the God Hand or not, but they are the ones you must deal with in order to get your powers. We see this during the eclipse, where Griffith and the rest of the Band of the Hawk are met by the God Hand, and during Griffith's, shall we say, transformation, as Griffith is going on to become Femto, he sees the teardrops of all the victims of his life, and he refers to them as Behelits. But they've also been referred to as kind of a gateway between the different realms of existence. So that's kind of the best explanation we have for them. Again, not a whole lot of information is clarified when it comes to the Behelits specifically. You may also have the ability to call upon the God Hand when distressed, but you will need to have the Behelit with you. Whether or not they decide to intervene is entirely up to you. The reason why I say that is because during the Black Swordsman arc, when the Slug Baron is defeated pretty much, he calls upon the God Hand and immediately asks for their assistance in destroying Guts. However, they are pretty much indifferent. They could care less about Guts, and sounds like even more so about the Slug Baron. He's just one initial servant to them. So all they're worried about is that they were summoned, and if there's a sacrifice to be made, they're expecting the Slug to do it, or face eternity in the swirl of abyss is what I'd call it. But next up, we have Smiley the Button. Not a lot is known about whether or not causality plays a part in Smiley getting into the hands of the beholder when separated, but that just might very well be the case. Like the Behelit, if you are the chosen one to wear the button, it has a habit of finding you. We've seen this happen several times where Smiley and Evil Ernie, they will be separated for whatever reason. Maybe it's during combat, or maybe it's during differences, because Smiley being able to have opinions of his own, sometimes they get into it. Despite the actions of both the evil one and Smiley, in a weird roundabout way, Smiley usually ends up right when Evil Ernie needs him the most, and when they unite, of course, it's business as usual with Megadeth. So we have seen that happen several times in the past. What brings Smiley to life was an overwhelming exposure to the arcane energy, which was directed from Lady Death. and now you are essentially her champion of death. As the wearer of the button, and having been exposed to arcane energy yourself, you will have the ability to visit Lady Death within the endless graveyard in your dreams. She may also appear to you through the blood of your victims, if called upon by your psychic link. Unlike the Behelit, which is activated once the wearer has reached their lowest point, Smiley is technically activated once you have pricked your hand on the needle. Once this happens, you are now officially on your way to become the evil one. This choice could be yours or Smiley's, as one or more disturbing details of the button is, even in its docile form, it seems to act and behave as if still alive. One similarity I picked up between these objects of evil is that blood seems to be used in their activation. Again, this isn't explicitly stated anywhere as mandatory, but we have seen it occur. And speaking of activation, that brings us to our next topic. Alright, so the Behelit can only be activated by its designated user. One Behelit, one user. But as mentioned earlier, you have to hit your lowest point of despair for you to activate it. But that's not all. The Behelit will require a sacrifice, and it has to be a real sacrifice. No halvesies here today, boys. Once activated, the God Hand will appear and grant you your one true desire, or should I say they will give you the ability to achieve it. You then will take the form of an apostle. So what are the pros and cons of the new form? Well, we're not sure if there is any choice in the look or functions of the new apostle body, but from what we can tell, there seems to be some symbolism connected to how you lived your previous life. You will most likely feel the hunger for human meat, eating the bodies of people day in, day out. You will crave destruction and death. Now, I should mention that this may not be a requirement because there are a few exceptions to this. To name just a few, such as Zod the Immortal or Grunbeld the Flame Dragon Knight. Both seem to stray from devouring humans on a regular basis, but just because we haven't seen them do it doesn't mean they don't off-screen, I guess. And I can at least confirm this for one of them. You will also receive several enhanced functions such as super speed, animalistic tendencies, super strength, flight, teeth, claws, fangs, tentacles, or simply all the above. You also have about a 47% chance of coming out looking mostly phallic shaped. Just saying, thought I'd throw that one out there for your careful consideration. When not in your apostle form and you wish to blend in per se, and I say that lightly, you do have a human form, but I hesitate to call it that. Essentially, you will have some resemblance of your current self, but you will be deformed in one way or another, and you will give off an unmistakable aura of evil, leaving all who encounter you uncomfortable, to say the least. As an apostle, your goal in life is to do whatever you want, just as long as you don't kill a future potential God Hand. But other than that, it seems everything else is good to go. But before you get all excited and carried away with all your new power, you are not invincible. And you may need to participate in a ceremony whenever a new God Hand is joining the roster. Lastly, if you take considerable damage and are defeated and dying, then there does seem to be an opportunity for you to continue your existence, but you will not only need the Behelit within your possession, but also need to activate it. And there, before the God Hand, you will be asked to make yet another sacrifice. Now with Smiley, the transformation process is going to take longer. It could happen over a few days or possibly a week. All you need to know is that once you have pricked your finger on the button, the process begins. At first, symptoms will seem mild, which appears to be a cold sweat and possible nausea. You will start to hear voices and maniacal laughing within your head. Soon after, you will begin to hallucinate, and your Smiley will most definitely be in these hallucinations, laughing and tormenting you by persuading you that you have lost your mind. You will start to lose a grip on reality. Your bloodlust will also grow, creating within you an urge to kill, encouragement getting louder and louder. And here's where things get somewhat interesting. You see, in order for your powers to be fully activated, you must die. So this can occur either from your deteriorating health, which will end up killing you, or if you decide to act upon your uncontrollably increasing urges to kill, and you yourself are killed in the process, you will obtain your powers as the Evil One. As the Evil One, your goal in life is to cause mega death. Once this is accomplished, you will finally get to be with Lady Death, and she will resurrect once all the living have been killed. Your physical appearance may vary, but you will definitely gain extra strength. Maybe not on the same level as an apostle, however you are less fragile than one, due to the fact that you are undead. On top of this, you now have the power of the arcane energy mentioned earlier. A mysterious energy that allows you several abilities, including taking control and befriending the undead. Dead ones are your friends. They will listen to you and follow your every command and help you accomplish mega death. So you essentially have the potential of controlling an ever-growing army of undead zombies. The arcane energy is a wonderful power source which allows you to blast waves of destruction and will also allow you to resurrect yourself from almost complete annihilation, just so long as you have your Smiley with you. The Behelit's direct interactions with the user seem to be at a very minimal level. It will open its eyes from time to time, giving some glimpse that it is alive. It also has been known to be able to eat food, primarily cheese, as it is stated that it is its favorite food. The Behelit will also begin to mumble, making noise whenever under the presence of the supernatural. Now indirectly, the Behelit has been called a good luck charm for some, meaning it seems to play a role in making sure that death does not come to the owner until the designated time. Now this doesn't mean against any harm, but death, for one reason or another, doesn't seem to happen. Lastly, the Behelit will finally correct its misshapen face at the time of activation. Some Behelits may cry tears of blood, and all will scream, "Abhor the God Hand." With all this said, a Behelit seems to come in handy when faced with life-threatening occurrences, but as far as bonding with it, it would appear to be not much of a friend. Smiley, on the other hand, will be much more apparent in his existence. After you've become the evil one, Smiley will need to be with you for most of the time. You cannot be separated from your Smiley for too long because it will cause your energy to drain and slowly you will start to decompose. Unlike his mostly reserved Behelit counterpart, he talks, sleeps, and is fully aware and interactive with his world around you. He will defend you as best he can when you're in danger. He gives you positive encouragement for mega death, and is always about having a fun time. Oh, and I should probably mention this as well. He is also constantly, well, thirsty. Smiley never misses the opportunity to see some hot action wherever it may be, and he'll let you know too. Smiley is also infatuated with Lady Death, so his thirstiness extends beyond realms of existence. Thank God he has yet to discover Instagram. So if you ever wanted to destroy the world with that one carefree, always getting into something friend, but who has your back no matter what, well then Smiley is a real one, to the very end. And there you have it. If you choose to walk the path of the damned, which road will you take? Leave your thoughts down below and comment. What did you guys think of Smiley the psychotic button or the cheese-eating Behelit? You guys, I really enjoyed making this one. Getting the chance to talk about two franchises that I love, let alone in the same video, was great. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned below for more Berserk and Lady Death content to come. And until next time guys, take care.